Do you have a property with a dried up stream on it? You should consider stream restoration. And in today's video, we have the top things you should know. Number 1, what is stream restoration? Stream restoration is, as the name would suggest, any work that improves the health of a river or a stream. Number 2, how do you know if a stream or river needs restoration? Well, if your stream cannot do the following, then it likely needs some help. 1, mitigate floods. 2, provide clean drinking water. 3, remove excess levels of nutrients. And 4, provide support for fish and wildlife. Number 3, what are the different stream restoration techniques? Brush layering, which combines layers of dormant or rooted cuttings with soil to revegetate and stabilize stream banks and slopes. Bundles, which are a group of dormant branches bundled together to create a log-like structure that will root, grow, and provide plant cover quickly. A brush mat, which provides a protective vegetative covering to a slope as soon as it's installed. It's usually constructed with dormant branches that will take root and grow. And grass rolls, which is where clumps of grass sod are placed tightly together side by side with the shoots pointing up. It's a sausage-like structure that will ultimately form a dense root system along a stream bank and provide structural protection. So these are just a few samples, but you can find a full list on our blog post. Number 4, what are the benefits of stream restoration? Well, streams increase the quality of life for both humans and wildlife. They provide recreational resources, but they also reduce flooding in the surrounding area, improve habitat for all wildlife, including those fish and waterfowl that people like to hunt, and they remove harmful substances that ultimately end up in drinking water. And number 5, how do you know if a project has been successful? Once you've completed your project, you should monitor it regularly to ensure that the pools and rifles are still in the right place. You should also make sure that all of your banks are stable and that there are no pockets of intense erosion. In a similar vein, sediment should only be deposited in the places you planned for it, and there should be no head cuts. What you should see is healthy riparian vegetation and fish as well as water bugs. So that covers the basics of stream restoration. But before we go, let me introduce you to the restoration cowboy. Dave Rosgen is perhaps one of the most famous practitioners of stream restoration. Dubbed the Restoration Cowboy for the big broad-rimmed hat and belt buckle that he always sports. Dave is a swaggering, Cadillac-driving, rough-and-tumble kind of guy, ready to do whatever it takes to save his beloved streams. A hydrologist by training, Dave used to work for the Forest Service. And one day, he was assigned to inspect a pristine stream in his native North Idaho. Yet to his horror, when he arrived at the Old Forest Waterway, he found it ruined by timber runoff. Enraged, he quit the Forest Service and started his own consulting company. Dave Rosgen's anger, however, was directed not at the Forest Service, but at the entire Western way of combating stream degradation. In the 1980s and 90s, when Dave started out, the primary way to restore bank degradation was to use riprap. This is a cute name for placing large chunks of concrete, boulders, and even in some cases old cars on stream banks to help armor them. Dave, however, believed in natural stream restoration, the art of making rivers look and function like rivers again. While this may sound like common sense now, it was a revolutionary thought decades ago, and one which made waves with one of Dave's first projects, the restoration of the Rio Blanco. In 1987, despite its breathtaking surroundings, Colorado's Rio Blanco, upstream of the Blanco Diversion Dam, was just plain ugly. Its banks were so severely eroded that it seemed like one big gravel bar, covered with the detritus of campers, trees, and animals. To create a habitat that would support trout, Dave needed to slow the river enough to stem erosion and create deep pockets of water to provide shelter for the fish. Rather than bringing concrete, Dave used natural materials like tree trunks to direct the water's flow in a defined, meandering path. The result was a near-perfect trout habitat. And this was just the start of many projects. In fact, Dave was so successful that the U.S. Forest Service later became his client. He is no longer, as Time put it, the Lone Ranger of stream restoration. Today, there is a lot of information on how to restore a natural-looking stream. And so if you have a river on your property, with the right resources and professional help, you too can have trout and native habitat once again. But what do you think? Do you have any stories about stream restoration? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. And also don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.